The Samsung Galaxy S10, like any smartphone, has had a few leaks already, but with all this information being drip fed, what do we already know about the device that is set for an early 2019 release? In terms of an actual release date, we are working on speculation and rumour. The S9 and S9 Plus were announced a little under a year ago at MWC, with the S8 being announced a year before that in March 2017. A major retailer spoke directly to Gizmodo UK about the potential launch, and they slated a 20th of February 2019 launch event with an S10 release date on Friday the 8th of March. That means if true, we really don't have much longer to wait. As for models, there are potentially 3 specific S10 variants to discuss: the Galaxy S10 Lite, codenamed Beyond Zero, the Galaxy S10, codenamed Beyond 1, and the Galaxy S10 Plus, codenamed Beyond 2. Unsurprisingly, the Lite model is expected to be a cheaper option for emerging markets, but we really don't have much knowledge about it. It could simply be an S9 in S10 clothing, much like Apple used to do with the previous generations, although that is purely speculation. The S10 will be a smaller version of the S10 Plus, which will include all of the bells and whistles. As for specifications, we expect that at least the S10 and S10 Plus will come packing the Snapdragon 855 in North American markets, whilst global buyers will get a taste of the Exynos 9820 processor. This will be paired with 8GB of RAM as standard, or potentially a 12GB of RAM option, which all told is a serious upgrade over the 6 or 8 found in previous Samsung models. We don't know the overall battery size of any model, but we would love to see one similar in capacity to that of the 4000 mAh cell found in the superb Galaxy Note 9. Power consumption savings in the Snapdragon 855 could really boost overall battery life. One of the core selling points of any Samsung Galaxy phone has been the camera in the past, so the S10 will no doubt pack in some serious camera hardware, and will also include a new night mode to potentially rival the Pixel Night Sight and Huawei Night Mode, and that's going to be called Bright Night. Overall, we're potentially looking at one of the most stacked camera setups on any smartphone with the S10. Renders show 4 rear cameras on the S10 Plus, and the standard S10 will have 3, whilst the S10 Lite will have dual rear-facing cameras. The specs of these are still a little bit unknown, but we expect something akin to those found on the Mate 20. As for the overall design, this is the first major overhaul in the Galaxy line series since the S8. The bezel is getting slimmed out yet again to an almost bezel-less state, with a punch hole notch likely heading to the upper right of the display. The sizes look to be 5.8 inches for the Lite model, 6.1 inches for the S10, and 6.4 inches for the S10 Plus model. That punch hole notch in the top right follows the Infinity O display that is already on the Galaxy A8s. Although this is a slight U-turn from Samsung, having mocked Apple for the notch on previous devices, the punch hole notch is quite a good compromise, all things told. Adding fuel to the fire that this notch will be in the upper right, there was a prototype 5G Samsung device that had an odd upper right notch, which could mean that this was a test device for the new S10 at one point, but again, that is purely speculation. We could also see a neat trick on or around the punch hole, with a special glow effect letting you know when it is in use. There is also no likely physical fingerprint reader on the S10 and S10 Plus at the very least. Instead, it will have an ultrasonic in-display fingerprint reader, which should mean faster and more accurate fingerprint reading. Whilst removing the physical fingerprint reader might be a little bit of a compromise, many might be happy that the headphone port looks set to survive once more on a Samsung flagship, or at least it points towards that. Case manufacturers have retained headphone port cutouts, so it's highly likely that the S10 will have the hardware input port intact. Samsung also looks set to add one of the coolest features of the Huawei Mate 20 Pro in the form of reverse wireless charging. This is supposedly going to be called PowerShare and is always welcome in our book. As for storage options, we already have the massive 512GB internal storage Note 9, but the S10 Plus looks set to have a headline-grabbing massive 1TB internal storage model. That said, we will see a 128GB base model for both the S10 and S10 Plus, and we believe that all models will still retain the micro SD card support. Thanks to some leaks by UK retailers, we do have UK pricing of the S10, and that will start at £669 for the 128GB flavour. The S10 Plus will start at £799 for the 128GB version and £999 for the 512GB model. There's very little information about the supposed S10 Lite affordable model, but we anticipate this pricing will be much closer to £500. There are a few things that the S10 won't include. 5G connectivity looks set to be one of those things. With the tech still being in its infancy and very few carriers globally having 5G network infrastructure at this point, we don't think it's too massive of a loss. So that is all the information we currently have on the S10 so far. I'd love to hear what you think. Is this going to be the massive overhaul that really shakes up the market yet again? Let us know in the comments section below. Remember to subscribe to the channel for more Google and Android related news. But this is Damien for 9to5Google saying thanks again for watching, and I will speak to you later.